I'm Mike from Los Angeles. You're watching LA City View, Channel 35. Our city, our channel.
In LA this week,
a stretch of beach in Venice is named after the late great council member Bill Rosendahl. And that's not the only reason to celebrate. I'm Gil Reyes with more on this lifeguard tower, now decorated in pride colors.
As part of this month's celebration, the LAPD announces a plan to help keep LGBT community members safer. I'm Rasha Goel, and that story's up next.
75 years after Japanese internment during World War II, this monument goes up in a very special intersection in the community of Venice. The story coming up. Hello and welcome to LA This Week. Thanks for joining us. I'm Yana Kay. The LGBT community celebrates its successes while highlighting the challenges it still faces. Rasha Goel has more on how the city is embracing the differences in all of us.
I'm so proud to be a Mexican, Irish, American, immigrant, queer, bisexual woman.
Actress Sara Ramirez, known as Dr. Callie Torres in the hit series Grey's Anatomy, is among the honorees being recognized at the 7th annual Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, and Transgender Heritage Month celebration at City Hall. Ramirez came out after leaving the show in 2016 to take a break. She says it's going to be interesting to see how things play out in her career.
I wasn't out publicly when I was on television playing Callie. So, there were people behind the scenes, close friends of mine who knew about me personally, but it's another thing to play a character on television. So, I'm going to have to let you know how it goes when I jump back in.
Other honorees included actress Alexandra Billings from Amazon's series Transparent. She's one of the first transgender actresses to play a transgender character. Change isn't only happening in the entertainment industry, but also at City Hall, with several openly gay city officials holding high-profile positions.
We have a built-in invisibility. Unless we proactively say, against the presumption of society that we are straight, that we are LGBT or Q, people assume that we are straight.
In conjunction with LGBT Heritage Month, the LAPD also announced a pilot program called Safe Place Initiative, which is modeled after a Seattle program involving a collaboration between the police and local business owners to help provide a safer place for LGBT community members.
It's a voluntary program which invites businesses and organizations to open their doors and their hearts to members of the LGBTQ community if there is some crisis and they are in need, and help them and assist them in contacting law enforcement or any organization that they deem appropriate.
It's just the beginning of a month-long celebration of a community whose spirits continue to soar. In downtown Los Angeles, I'm Rasha Goel for LA This Week.
During the month of June, the City Hall Tower will be illuminated in the distinct rainbow colors of the gay pride flag. Over on the west side, another celebration of LGBT Pride Month as the community pays tribute to LA's first openly gay council member, Bill Rosendahl, who passed away more than a year ago. Gil Reyes has more from a double tribute in Venice. Gil.
Well, Yana, as the late great council member Bill Rosendahl would say, it's a great, 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 great day. Not only the dedication of this lifeguard tower with all new pride colors, but also the dedication of this stretch of beach, officially known now as the Bill Rosendahl Memorial Beach. Gone but not forgotten.
Particularly in memory of my predecessor, Bill Rosendahl, folks really wanted to do something here at the beach to memorialize him. So we have painted, the community has painted, this tower in rainbow colors.
Venice Council member Mike Bonin and friends posing in front of the refurbished Brooks Avenue Lifeguard Tower, redesigned with the help of volunteers in honor of Pride Month and former LA City Council member Bill Rosendahl, who passed away last year after battling cancer.
He used to come out here and have fun and play, and it's also where he sort of began what was really his homelessness ministry. He would bring people home and actually literally give them a place to live.
As LA's first openly gay city council member, Rosendahl also championed LGBT rights before it was mainstream. Artists Patrick Marston and his husband Michael Brunt discuss the Pride Rainbow, seen on flags, storefronts, and now here on the refurbished Rosendahl Beach Tower.
Seeing it, even while I was driving here, it's kind of just like a beacon of hope and a beacon of like inclusivity and welcoming for all the LGBT folks.
Like LA County lifeguards Wadley and Captain Kenichi Haskett, both openly gay and enjoying the acceptance Rosendahl helped establish in Los Angeles.
I grew up in Kansas watching Baywatch, so to move out from Kansas and be here, it's amazing.
As long as we are able to protect people on our beaches, as long as we can do that job, doesn't matter what your skin color is, what your sexual orientation is, it's just we're part of that family.
In Venice, at Bill Rosendahl Memorial Beach, I'm Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
In honor of Pride Month, the iconic Venice lights on Pacific and Windward will also be illuminated in rainbow colors. Turning now to the city's R-Cycle LA program, which gives out free refurbished computers. The innovative program arrived in West Hills and at one city leader's alma mater. Gil Reyes has more on the happy homecoming. Gil.
Yana, we are actually here at Justice Elementary School in West Hills, where LA City Councilman Mitchell Englander actually graduated from 6th grade here back in the early 1980s. He also shared a part of himself, his childhood, that you may not have been aware of.
Oh, God bless you. Oh, your story.
An emotional day at Justice Street Academy Charter School. The city gives away 76 computers to families that really need them.
I'm really excited about it. This is my grandson. Wait a minute.
Yeah, you're doing great.
Families can't afford it, and to see all of the kids here being able to get it is really exciting.
Families can thank the Our Cycle LA program. It takes old city department office computers and restores them for home use for area families.
Instead of throwing them in the trash and ruining the environment, we refurbish them for you, and then I added free internet access, so we're going to give you for 4 years free internet. What do you think about that?
That sounds amazing.
Now, we're going to hand you this. You got it?
Amazing, too, for Councilman Mitchell Englander. He attended Justice Street School as a child and struggled during his years here.
And I was a special needs student. And I was a special needs because I was blind as a child.
The councilman had suffered from a severe case of vernal keratoconjunctivitis, an allergic eye disease that could have blinded him permanently. After 3 years battling the illness, he luckily outgrew it, with support from family and school staff. Many of today's Justice Street students struggle with their own challenges. Until now, many of them could not do homework online from home.
A lot of families go to the library or use just a cell phone. Many of the families have shared with us that, in tears, they've shared with us what a big difference this is going to make.
Thank you very, very much, and I'm truly touched and very grateful.
Helping families in need. In West Hills, I'm Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
LA City Council President Herb Wesson and the city's Information Technology Agency came up with the concept. The city hired the nonprofit Human IT to upgrade the technology for families. Well, we all know that we live in a quake-prone zone, and according to city leaders, an earthquake plan should be a strategic business tool of every merchant. Anna Marcos has more on the Quake Smart Preparedness Workshop.
When the big one hits, city and federal leaders want to make sure LA businesses can recover quickly and stay open so communities get back on their feet.
We want them to be able to get their food if they need food, their supplies.
LA's Emergency Preparedness Department has teamed up with FEMA to run this Quake Smart Earthquake Preparedness Workshop for local business leaders.
It's very important for businesses and property owners to have some kind of idea in case of emergency. Their shutdown procedures, where they can direct either their employees or their customers where to go, what safety measures need to be in place so like looting doesn't take place.
Fire Chief Ralph Terrazas, one of the speakers, has some basic things merchants must include in their disaster plans to get back on track: power, communications, and safety of employees and customers.
I shared an experience I had with a fire in a local refinery, and they had a plan for emergencies. They were able to bring in emergency generators for power. They were able to bring in satellite trucks for the communications capability. By the end of the day, they were in full operation.
These exhibits give business owners even more ideas for keeping their operations quake-proof, from big things such as retrofitting your buildings to smaller things such as strapping down computer monitors with these contraptions or having a radio flashlight. This one operates with either solar power, hand cranking, or regular power.
This engineer highlights one problem faced by property owners who did not have retrofitting during the Northridge earthquake, something called a soft story.
It's basically a parking garage below, sometimes called tuck-under parking, and then your living space above. So when an earthquake comes and it moves the heavy elements, this heavy part will move and have a tendency to want to collapse.
Both business owners and residents can now sign up for the Notify LA program, which gives you specific alerts for your neighborhood during disasters. You can text 888-777 or visit emergency.lacity.org/notify-LA. I'm Anna Marcos for LA This Week.
Other agencies that helped put on the event include the LA County Office of Emergency Management, the Small Business Administration, and the Federal Alliance for Safe Homes. Heading back to Venice now, where community members dedicated a Japanese-American memorial monument so that future generations will never forget past racial injustices. Gil Reyes reports.
It could never happen again, or could it? This new monument in Venice remembers a scary time in America when 120,000 people of Japanese descent were imprisoned in camps during World War II. The fear was they might have been enemy sympathizers. Among the incarcerated, Mei Kagayama from Venice.
Yet I was frightened. I thought we were going to be sent back to Japan. So I didn't know what was going on because I was only 18 years old. So my younger sisters, 2 sisters, and my brother, we all left for Manzanar from this very corner.
April 1942. Right here at Venice and Lincoln Boulevards, more than 1,000 Japanese Americans were forced to board buses for the Manzanar detention camp. 75 years later, on that very corner, the Venice Japanese American Memorial Monument is dedicated. This monument serves as a reminder that the injustices suffered by people of Japanese ancestry should never happen to any group ever again.
Just because of your religion, your color of skin, your gender, your sexual orientation, people make assumptions, and if doggone it, something goes wrong, then you're the one to blame.
Many of those incarcerated have since died, but relatives, some showing old ID tags from camp, spoke for them during the dedication.
We were reduced to numbers, and this is what Trump wants to do. He wants to have all Muslims register, and then by registering, they can be found wherever they are and taken away.
I think my husband is looking down right now and smiling. He was so strongly believing that this will happen, and it became a reality for him.
At Venice and Lincoln Boulevards in Venice, I'm Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
Supporters raised more than $100,000 for the 9-foot-tall black granite monument. Over in Canoga Park, the first ever cool pavement installation in the state of California recently took place. Rasha Goel has more on how the city is cooling down the streets as we hit the hot summer months.
This is the hottest part of the city of Los Angeles.
Councilman Bob Blumenfield is referring to Jordan Street in Canoga Park, which officials say is one of the hottest neighborhoods in Los Angeles. With street surfaces hitting up to 160 degrees, the city of LA is taking action to cool things down with a new cool pavement pilot program. It involves treating streets with a coating that helps lower the temperature of the street.
The hot sun beats down on the black asphalt, creates this heat island effect, and ultimately we are all the victims of that. The hope, though, is that by reflecting more light the lighter pavement coating will keep the air and the surrounding street cooler and release less heat into our neighborhoods.
City officials say not only will the new coating help save money on air conditioning, but also will benefit in other ways.
One study estimated that a citywide cool pavement program could save $15 million a year in cooling costs and $76 million a year in smog-related medical and lost work costs.
As part of the pilot program, the Bureau of Street Services will be testing the materials, measuring the heat, and checking durability to see the long-term impact on residents. Only time will tell if the material holds up or if it just looks good on the surface. I'm Rasha Goel for LA This Week.
City officials say they'll be laying patches of the coating in the other 14 districts in the upcoming months. Well, from cooling down the streets to beautifying them, in the case of One Pico Boulevard neighborhood, it starts with a tree planting and a little help from two well-known city leaders. Anna Marcos takes a look.
This is a community in action. Members of this neighborhood on Pico Boulevard wanted a greener, more beautiful, and pedestrian-friendly street, and they worked for 1.5 years to get it. Their reward today, some 50 new trees planted, thanks to the mayor's Great Streets initiative.
What we're trying to do is to get trees to shade our pedestrian walkways so that people in the neighborhood will want to come out and use our stores, and also, more importantly, just to meet each other and to have a place that we can call our home and our community.
Oh, and it was such a big deal that both Council President Herb Wesson and Mayor Eric Garcetti, with his daughter, stopped by to shovel some dirt and mulch around.
What this is about today, it's about a great street. It's about community coming together.
And there's more. These people are really serious about beautifying their streets. They've created a board in which residents get to pick what kind of street they want, complete with landscaping, sidewalks, planters, and plants. And everyone seems to enjoy playing this little game with stickers.
Citizens like me could come and just identify our first, second, and third choices. And it's with joint participation like this that you wind up getting the type of street you want.
And soon, if these residents get their way, the game of stickers on a board will evolve and lead to the creation of one of LA's truly great streets. I'm Anna Marcos for LA This Week.
By the way, it costs about $800 to water each of these trees for the first 3 years. But worry not, these residents thought of everything. They applied for and got a grant for that as well. Well, courtesy to coworkers is the house special at one restaurant prominent for pastrami. Gil Reyes has more on a special honor for Langer's Delicatessen in Westlake. Gil.
Well, Yana, when you come to the world-famous Langer's, you can order the roast beef sandwich, you can order the tuna sandwich, but this is the sandwich everyone really comes for, the pastrami, the famous number 19. But it's not the pastrami sandwich that's getting the award today. It's Langer's for how they treat their employees. LA Times food critic Jonathan Gold once said the pastrami here is so good, there should be a statue of Langer's signature number 19 sandwich at the LA Civic Center. This could be the next best thing. LA City and labor leaders honoring Langer's Deli owner Norm Langer for being good to his workers.
You don't give them scraps. You don't give them leftovers. You make sure your employees are eating properly, healthy, they get their proper breaks. You know, take care of their needs. It's family.
And it comes back to you?
It comes back over and over and over. I've got employees who have been with me for many, many years.
Langer's Deli, a Westlake District institution since 1947, receives the Buy Blue Ribbon Award from labor groups, not just for being one of the finest restaurants in town, but also for paying all 42 of its employees a living wage with benefits. The honor comes from a group called Labor 411.
We have a list of over 10,000 union goods and services that people can patronize where employers do the right thing and pay their employees a living wage, they have a voice on the job.
What Labor 411 does is it puts that list out so that the consumer knows where those companies are.
My head dishwasher has been here 49 years. My head chef has been here 46 years. Jaime, my manager, has been here 28. There's a reason these people stay. It's family.
From Langer's Deli, west of downtown, I'm Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
A national directory of union-supported businesses like Langer's can be found at labor411.org. The homeless count results confirm that the city is facing a real homeless crisis. A vandalized Vietnam War mural gets restored, while another mural across town celebrates the LGBTQ community. All these stories in City Beat. Homelessness in the city of Los Angeles jumped by 20% over the last year, while the county saw a spike of 23%, according to the results of the 2017 Greater Los Angeles Homeless Count. In the city, the total number of homeless went up to 34,189. The homeless count took place over 3 nights in January and was conducted by the Los Angeles Homeless Services Authority, which saw a record number of volunteers, totaling more than 8,000 participate. In light of the higher number of volunteers, the number of homeless may not have gone up, but LASA may have just gotten more accurate at counting them, officials said. The tally comes as the city and county are investing a record number of funds toward homeless services, including the construction of 10,000 units of housing and other programs. A restored Vietnam War POW MIA mural in Venice that had been vandalized was unveiled recently. Last May, vandals sprayed a thick sheen of silver paint over most of the names on the mural. The mural had no protective anti-graffiti coating, so some of the original mural was destroyed in the process. City Councilman Mike Bonin, whose district includes Venice, said it took a focused and inclusive community effort to begin restoring the mural. Mayor Eric Garcetti joined Instagram COO Marnie Levine to unveil a new mural celebrating LGBTQ Pride Month at the Fashion House of Paul Smith on Melrose Avenue. The mural, located on the store's west side, was painted in the colors of the rainbow, the international LGBTQ symbol. Garcetti said that social media has started to make a big impact in the LGBTQ community.
We need to let them know that they are not alone. And through Instagram, and through social media, we can touch their lives. We can let them know that they are part of a community of love, a community of kindness, and a community of understanding.
The founder of LA's very first museum is remembered for some of his passions, like art and cultural diversity. Gil Reyes shows us how they blend on Lummis Day in LA.
This exhibit at Southwest Museum honors museum founder Charles Fletcher Lummis, journalist, art lover, and lover of the Arroyo Seco.
These are all artists who live in the area, who love living here, and are celebrating it through their visual art in this exhibition.
During Lummis Day festivities, the exhibit called For the Love of the Arroyo opens.
It's just a delight to have this event and see the level of community participation and support for our history and our culture.
Lummis Day celebrates art and diversity in Northeast LA, as Charles Lummis famously supported Native American rights and artifacts before his death in 1928. Over in Highland Park, another exhibit entitled Muralismo features iconic Chicano murals.
As a political activist, a cultural activist, for me it's very important what I see in the murals because it's helped me to understand the community where the murals sit in.
So what's next for LA Murals?
In the future, it literally will talk to you. There'll be information coming out. You can even probably access information from the wall virtually as things develop out of, that's, okay, trade secrets right now, but we will be coming out with the first augmented reality mural in Los Angeles.
Celebrating Northeast LA art, past, present, and future on Lummis Day, I'm Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
Lummis Day, a 3-day diversity festival, also featured live music, dance, and poetry readings. Well, relax and take some time out during a meditation event, or get your heart racing during a sports car showcase or a city race urban adventure. All this in this week's Things to Do. It's a festival designed to raise the vibration of humanity through a united connection of live music, Visual arts, meditations, sound healing, workshops, lectures, interactive experiences, exposure to local and global brands, and connecting our world through unity. So take a deep breath and relax at the Mass Meditation Initiative, taking place at the Los Angeles State Historic Park on Saturday, June 17th. The event is free, but you have to register at eventbrite.com. Join the Peterson Museum for one of the largest and most interactive events of the year. The museum will host an immersive Le Mans viewing party where you can watch Le Mans live alongside the museum's Forza Gallery and can compete with professional and media influencers for digital on-track dominance in the driving gallery. Le Mans will be streamed on big screens in the Seeing Red Ferrari 70 Years exhibit, surrounded by some of the most priceless race cars of all time. It all takes place on Saturday, June 17th at the Peterson Museum. For more information, visit peterson.org. In City Race Urban Adventure Hunts, teams of 2 to 4 players solve fun and challenging clues, leading them on a 3-hour hunt through one of LA's many diverse neighborhoods. Teams will crack codes, solve challenging puzzles, uncover little-known facts, and more, all while racing against other teams to be first to finish with the most correct answers. This subterranean city race will send you on a captivating quest through the state-of-the-art stations of the LA Metro, where you'll hunt for clues amid some of the most striking and provocative public art in the region. Register online at racela.com. And that's a look at some things to do. Well, that's going to do it for this edition. I'm Yana Kane from all of us here at LA This Week. Thanks for joining us. A reminder that you can catch us online at lacityview.org. You can also follow and like us on Facebook. We'll see you back here next week for more of LA This Week.
Property theft has spiked in the area the past year due to easy access for thieves. Almost 80% of car theft occurs because of unlocked doors. Locking your doors takes a matter of seconds and can become so routine that you may forget whether you locked your doors or not. But it's worth the effort to double check. The more successful thieves are at taking items out of a car, the more chances they are going to come back to that area. Don't let our town be that area. One simple precaution is to hide or cover any valuable items when leaving your car unattended. Simple actions like these can prevent you from becoming a victim of property theft. The Los Angeles Police Department would like you to remember, lock it or lose it.
Hi, I'm Gina Ray, and this is my dog Whippet. We're from Winnetka. Get it, girl. You're watching LA City View, Channel 35. This is our city and our channel.
good morning, sergeants. Can you please call the members that are not here? leave, you continue disrupting the meeting. Today is Tuesday, June 13. This council meets on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. Mr. Weezer, are you ready for your presentation, sir?
Yes.
Thank you.
Welcome. Yeah, invite everybody up. Sure, yeah. Everybody up.
Over, guys.
Martin, you have the reso? Well, thank you, Madam President, and good morning, everyone. It's great to be here in Council Chambers today. And next Tuesday, June 20th, is World Refugee Day. The day is a reminder of the millions of people around the world displaced by conflict, environmental ruin, and persecution. And I am proud here to introduce you all to Mary Whitehill, an Eagle Rock resident and founder of Mary's List, who has created an amazing program to help refugees, including those coming from war-torn countries like Syria and Afghanistan. And many of these, as you know, make their difficult transition to life here in the United States with very little. Mary is here today with her parents, Susan Lilly and Robert Whitehill. Welcome. Her husband, Ben Attar, and Cindy Ottison, president of Mary's List, who is also the vice president of the Eagle Rock Neighborhood Council. Mary and Cindy and all the volunteers who help them and the scores of people who have heeded the call to help these families are the very best that America has to offer. They embody the values that have made us the greatest country on earth. We are a nation of immigrants, and we are at our best when we celebrate our diversity. And as Americans, our compassion has always been our greatest strength and is renowned throughout the world and throughout our nation's history. Mary's List and the values that it stands for are in stark contrast to the lack of values coming out of the White House these days. Instead of finding ways that the United States can provide a haven for people facing war, famine, and persecution, our president instead seeks to vilify them. Instead of welcoming people in need, he wants to build walls and ban people according to religion and nationality. Instead of helping them assimilate, he is creating a breeding ground for hatred and discrimination. In the City of Angels, we have a very different approach, and it's one we share with the inscription of the Statue of Liberty. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. We will stand with our new neighbors and say, we value you, we respect you, and we welcome you. I am honored to recognize an organization that's become a true example of these values, Mary's List and its founder, Mary Whitehill. Back in September of 2016, Mary was talking with a friend who knew a Syrian family who had recently resettled in the United States. The family had a small child and needed a jumperoo, one of those bouncing entertainment things that many of your parents know. The parents know what they are. Mary posted on her Facebook page asking if any families had one they were willing to donate. She quickly had 4 jumperoos. And you're smiling, Madam President. You know what they are, right? You have 2. When she delivered it to the family, she noticed they were in need of other basic household items that we all take for granted. She walked through the home with the family and made a list of what they needed and posted it on her Facebook page. In 2 weeks, the list was complete, but Mary's List was just getting started. Mary's single act of kindness has blossomed into a calling, a passion, with scores of volunteers and good people like Mary and Cindy and many others who bring so much more than just items to refugee families, many who have seen and experienced truly horrific things. What Mary's List really brings is hope, kindness, and friendship. Refugee families arrive to this country with only the bags they can carry. Many of the families have special needs, such as small children or disabled family members. Often, these families get placed in motels and hotels, which can drain any financial resources they had when they arrived. Mary's List works to find the families a place to stay or an apartment they can rent. A Mary's List volunteer will visit the family and work with them to create a priority list of what they need. People from all over the country can see the list online and help these families directly, and the response has been incredible, and it reminds us of what this country is truly about. About 100 families have been helped, if not more, since that fateful day in 2016 that Mary decided to help one family. Mary's work is not limited to just Mary's List. As treasurer of the Eagle Rock Neighborhood Council, she drafted a welcoming resolution to demonstrate a commitment to immigrants and refugees and began mobilizing support and donations from families in need. When hateful rhetoric is rising throughout the country, it is reassuring that people are meeting that hate with love and empathy. And as an immigrant, I cannot be prouder of the Eagle Rock Neighborhood Council for taking this stand and affirming that LA indeed welcomes immigrants and refugees to join our community. This Sunday, Mary's List is having its first fundraiser at the Center for the Arts in Eagle Rock. Let's watch a short video about Sunday's event and about the very important phrase, Ana Huna. Video, please.
Huna means I'm here in Arabic, and it's a phrase that I use all the time in my work with new arrival families. It is what I say when I am driving to a family's house and I can send them a text message, let them know I've arrived. I say, Ana Huna, I'm here. A little later, we'll be in their apartment, sitting on the floor with the family, and I will turn and notice that Mom is crying and she has tears coming down her face. I don't speak Arabic, and so I couldn't possibly come up with the words to tell her what I want to tell her in those moments, because she has been through so much. And the only thing I can say is Ana Huna, I'm here. Ana Huna is also for our families. They have waited so long and had to withstand unthinkable violence and trauma, but they've made it. And they're here, and they're home. And Ana Huna is for them to proclaim, I'm here.
Hi, we are here. Ana Huna.
On June 18th, we are having a fundraiser for Miri's List in celebration of World Refugee Day at the Eagle Rock Center for the Arts. It's called I'm Here, Ana Huna. We are going to have Syrian food, lovingly prepared by one of our families, music from one of our very talented musicians from Syria, and we are going to have a group discussion with 4 members from our families who are going to speak with us about their experience. Today and every day. Ana Huna. You can get tickets right now at www.mirislist.org/Ana Huna.
What an incredible story this is, and really, Mary and Mary's List, you embody what it means to be an American. Thank you so much for your work. And on behalf of the City of Los Angeles, we'd love to present to you this resolution, thanking you and encouraging you to keep doing the great work you're doing. Congratulations.
Hello.
Good morning.
Thank you, Councilman Huizar. It's pretty unfair that I have to speak after watching the video. We designed it to make the tears flow, and so I'm a little bit choked up. Hearing Councilman Huizar talk about our work. 10 months ago, my friend Suzanne Smith, who's here today, introduced me to a family that she knew who had just arrived from Syria. I am a stay-at-home mom. My kids are here. My previous life was in digital advertising. I have no background in the nonprofit world, humanitarian assistance, politics, policy. I'm on Twitter. That's pretty much the extent of my political knowledge. I met this family who had a baby the same age as mine. Their youngest was the same age as my youngest. And meeting them and bonding with them was this life-changing and eye-opening experience. And Councilman Huizar, he talked about kind of that first family with the Jumperoo and how it kind of snowballed into this movement. And I find this work to be life-changing because it's made me realize how much control we have. I can't control policies, and I cannot change hearts of politicians that will never see the world the way I see the world. And I certainly cannot help the thousands of babies and families that are suffering overseas at the hands of governments and everyone else. But what we can do, and what we have proven with Miri's list, is that we can control the family's experience for the people that have arrived here. This is not work about policy. We don't plan on trying to change any laws. What we're doing is giving regular people access to helping their newest neighbors. And in that way, this work is transformative, and it's completely changed my life. We now serve over 100 families from Syria, Afghanistan, Iran, and Iraq. We are growing by 12 families a week. In my world, I wake up every morning to text messages from people I have just met or barely know, with pictures of kids in beds and kids on bikes and kitchens with tables and a family meal prepared, and emojis with the grateful hands and kissing face emojis. We don't have a common language. They speak Arabic or Farsi. I speak English and Hebrew. So this is how we communicate. That's what I wake up to every morning. And throughout the day, I am reading texts and taking calls from people all over LA, particularly from people in my neighborhood of Eagle Rock, which was the hub and kind of incubator for this work, letting me know that they have skills, resources, time, money, and they want to give those things to perfect strangers. That is the world that I live in. And it gives me this amazing window where I get to see the best of people. People when they're in the mode of giving, and then on the other side, the amazing feeling of gratitude. Thank you so much, Councilman Huizar. I don't know where you are.
Back here.
Oh, there you are. Thank you for recognizing and supporting this work. This really started with one person talking to another person, and it has evolved into this movement of thousands. And it won't be long before we'll have really perfected the model that works really well here in Los Angeles and Southern California, and we'll be rolling this program out to every refugee city in America. How much time do I have? Okay. Life is so different when we have power. I know that so many people feel like we have no power right now. And my response or reply to this is, as long as you focus on solving things that cannot be solved, we have no power. If we focus our energy on fixing the very real and solvable problems that we can, how beautiful is that? Everything is different. So, if you are available and free on June 18th at 5 o'clock, we're having an event at the Center for the Arts Eagle Rock that is designed
to shine a light on all of the elements of new arrival refugee culture that we don't see on the news. Nobody talks about how wonderful these families can cook. Nobody talks about the fact that there's teenagers who have experienced all of this horrific process of having to flee your home, live in this gray area, and migrate to a new country. And they developed music skills, and they have used music to free them throughout this incredibly difficult process. We have an entire new neighbor community of amazing musicians and cooks, and nobody talks about it. So we're going to talk about it on the 18th. And I really hope the people in this room can be there with us.
Thank you very much. Mr. City Attorney, Mr. Huizar, Mr. City Attorney, Mr. Herman has been interrupting this presentation since the very beginning. I've said this to him before. This is not daycare, and these are amazing people that are being honored today. If you can't sit there and behave, I'm going to ask you to leave.
Thank you, Madam President. Yes, these have not been fleeting gestures for Mr. Herman. He's been continuously disrupting the meeting with constant motion throughout the entire time.
Mr. Huizar, I also have Mr. Cedillo on the queue. Did you have other speakers?
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Cedillo?
I just want to rise to praise you and Mr. Huizar, commend you for acknowledging what a great angel of the city. Gandhi talks about let us be the change that we want to see, and you are exactly that. You and your family are being great Angelinos. Martin Luther King talks about the measure of a person is not where they stand at comfort or convenience, but where they stand at conflict and controversy, that the real neighbor will sacrifice their lives for the well-being of others. And you are doing that. You are changing your life. You're changing the life of your family and then changing the life of your community because you are willing to sacrifice to help your neighbor. You are the best of Los Angeles. You are absolutely right. We do have power, and we have the power to change the things within our control. While there may be insanity taking place in Washington, we here in the city, we talk about this a lot in our staff, in our district, we can change our community neighbor by neighbor, block by block, and build this city and make it the beacon of resistance and make it the place where we welcome immigrants and refugees because they are the future Americans, and they are going to be such an asset. As you know, they're resilient, they're courageous, they're creative, and they have so many contributions to make to our city. And so what you are doing is really the most American thing that can be done today to build our city and our nation. So thank you, and God bless you.
Mr. Cedillo?
Thank you, Mr. Cedillo.
Oh, I'm sorry,
and
Mr.
that reminds me of, in a different context, when my family arrived from Mexico as an immigrant family. It was our neighbors, our teachers, and everyone who helped us acclimate to this great country. And you're doing the same work in a different context for some families who truly need it. And you're correct. Just within our reach, when we get so frustrated about what's happening nationally and internationally, here locally, we could do. We call it simple, but I know it's a lot of work, but we could do what we can within our own power to really help the situation. So thank you again on behalf of the City of Los Angeles. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Huizar. Thank you very much for everything you do. Madam Clerk, let's go ahead and run through the agenda.
Bloomingville, Bonin, Buscaino, Cedillo, Englander, Harris Dawson, Weezer, Koretz, Krikorian, Martinez, O'Farrell, Price, Rude Wesson. 10 members present, Madam President, and a quorum.
First order of business.
Approval of the minutes.
Mr. O'Farrell moves and Mr. Curran Price seconds.
Commendatory resolutions for approval.
Mr. Rue moves and Mr. Harris Dawson seconds. What's next?
Madam President, today is Tuesday and time for this flag salute.
May we all rise for our flag salute. Mr. O'Farrell, can you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Mitch. Pledge of Allegiance, sorry. Oh, we're starting. Oh, am I leading? Oh, I'm so sorry. I was so busy thanking Mary for her wonderful presentation. Right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. O'Farrell. Madam Clerk, what's next?
Item 1 is an item notice for public hearing.
Do we have any cards on that item?
Yes, there are cards.
What's the next item?
Items 2 through 7 are items for which public hearings have been held. A Public Works and Gang Reduction Committee report for item number 3 has been submitted, posted, and circulated for council's consideration.
Okay, members, are there any specials? Mr. Price, what number? One item? Item 2? Item 2 special for Mr. Price. Mr. Cedillo?
4 and 5 forthwith, please.
Items 4 and 5 forthwith. Okay, let's go ahead and vote on the remaining items. Let's open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the vote.
10 ayes.
Okay, without objection, that will be the order, and items 4 and 5 are forthwith for Mr. Cedillo.
21 also forthwith. Oh, we haven't got there yet?
We haven't gotten there yet, sir.
All right.
Okay, what's next?
Items 8 through 28 are items for which public hearings have not been held. 10 votes are required for consideration.
Okay, without objection, those items are now before us. Do you have any cards on any of those items?
Yes, there are cards on all items.
After it gets voted on.
What's next?
Items 29 through 31 are items scheduled for closed session. Public hearings have not been held on these items, and there are cards. Would you like to hold them on the desk?
Yeah, let's go ahead and hold those items on the desk.
Madam Chair? I
Yes,
was
Mr.
remiss in
Cedillo?
noting the item 11 forthwith, please.
Item 11, we have not voted on yet, sir, but I will make a note of that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Price, did you want to also call for an item forthwith?
21.
21? Okay, when we get there, we'll do that as well.
When we get there, thank you.
Madam President, that takes council back to items called special or general public comment.
Okay, I want to take some cards. Give me just a second. Herman? Go ahead. You've filled out cards for item 1, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12A, 12B, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28A, and general public comment. Go ahead, put out his time.
So
The
when
clock is running, sir.
approaching the Anahuna that I am here, the great white serpent Herman for the record, I'd like to speak to you about item 30 regarding the retaliation.
Mr. Herman didn't sign up for item 30, I
I
believe.
signed up on every item, rookie. Every
Corrected.
item I signed up on that kiosk. If it doesn't work, it's not my fault.
I stand corrected. Go ahead, Mr. Herman.
Oh, now he corrects it. after you fucking interrupt me into the Ralph M. Brown.
Mr. Herman, I'm going to ask you to stay on the item. I'm going to ask you to leave.
Fucking shit, man. Regarding the city of Los Angeles versus Mr. Hall, why is there such retaliation? It's because of the way I look, handsome. That's the reason why. I come to see the hoods in my hoodie, and I'm being retaliated against because I'm talking about another settlement based on the city of Los Angeles for alleged employment discrimination. Rookie, I know what the fuck I'm talking about when it comes to discrimination. I've been there and done that. Then going to item 1, rookie, Mr. Bonin in 11. Am I on fucking topic? Absolutely. But who fucking cares? Stay on topic. Hold a public hearing to comply with public utilities. The people here today don't want to pay any more than what they have to for utilities. It's your job to run this city so that we can live and afford utilities. I can't live in LA because I can't afford the utilities. Scumbags. I'm homeless. I can't pay for my utilities to live under a bridge because there's no utilities. Ain't that a bitch? These kind of amenities do not apply. And then I go into item 2, rookie, and I'll read it for the record. Category exemption, fucking planning, and fucking land use management for the fucking committee report and the fucking ordinance. First consideration of fucking relative to fucking establishment for the fucking urban.
Madam President, item 2 already had public comment satisfied.
You asked me to stay on topic.
The speaker is off topic.
To find and accept the findings of the Los Angeles City Fucked Up Planning Commission as the findings in the council. No action taken, rookie. And then I go to present and adopt the what? Accompanying ordinance? Fuck your accompanying ordinance and fuck you white pasty.
Madam President,
you're not on that item, Mr. Herman. Give him his 1 minute for general public comment. Mr. Alcala.
Now that we're on topic,
I'm going to ask you to be quiet.
And you rudely interrupt the speakers, it would be in your best interest and reasonable interest to shut the fuck up and let the speakers speak for their 60 fucking seconds of public comment. Ralph M. Brognatt, 54950.5. And on behalf of all the disabled under Woolitz versus Los Angeles, Barton versus Sacramento, I'm looking forward for the next continuance of lawsuits against the city of Los Angeles for poorly, inadequately servicing sidewalk and streets for all of you to drive on, for all of you to walk on, and come here and file a claim, slip and fall, and sue these white fucking niggers for all the problems they create in the city of Los Angeles. And thank you, Donald Trump, for the affordable housing ADA complaint. Fuck all you on your housing, and fuck you, stupid asshole.
Have a good day, Mr. Herman. Goodbye. Mr. Alcala, you next? Mr. Alcala? No, we're not going back and forth between you and Mr. Herman. Pay attention. I'm going to tell you what items you signed up to speak on. That's what you got to speak on. Item 1, no, you did not. Hold on for just a second. Item 1, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12A, 12B, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, and the 3 items left on closed session, 29, 30, and 31, and you get your minute of general public comment. Go ahead.
Doesn't that sound like every item?
Sir, go ahead.
At least you know
Time
what...
is clicking, sir. Go ahead.
I know. It almost sounds like you know what you're talking about.
Thank you.
And that city attorney better not interrupt.
And the speaker's off topic.
You're off topic, so we're going to interrupt you. I just told you what the items that you filled out cards for.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay,
The
so let's get on
is,
topic.
Like Mr. Herman was saying, on in the city of Los Angeles, there's no affordable housing, and there will never be unless you manage to change the system. And the system sucks. You know why Donald Trump has never spoken about homelessness? He has never, because the son of a bitch owns half the world.
The speaker's off topic.
Off topic, we're talking about homelessness. This is a big day for homelessness. And you know what? You got more homeless people every day in the city of Los Angeles and all around this fucking stinking country.
And the speaker's still off topic.
What is the topic?
You filled out the card, sir. We didn't. Are you going to speak on the topic, or do you want to sit down?
Okay. Topic number 1. I will pass on that, and I will go to topic number 2. I will pass on that and go to topic number 3. I will pass on that and go to topic number 4. I will pass on that and go to.
And the speaker is being repetitive and now disrupting the meeting. And by the
You just
way,
want to go
items
on to
2
your
and
general
7
public
were.
comment, Mr. Alcala?
I'm going to the next topic.
But you're not speaking on any of the topics. So do you want to just go to general public comment? You want me to give you a minute? You can just move on to general public
give
comment.
me my public comment so
All
I
right,
can
let's
tell this
go ahead
son
and
of
give
a
Mr.
bitch what
Alcala
he
his
is.
1 minute. You have 1 minute of general public comment. Go ahead.
Okay, city attorney, you're nothing but a son of a bitch. City attorney, you're nothing but a son of a bitch.
No, Mr. Alcala, we're not
Trump,
making
you're
it personal
nothing but
here.
a son of a bitch. I changed. Donald Trump, you're nothing but a son of a bitch, an orange son of a bitch, and you will never stop being an orange son of a bitch, redneck motherfucker, racist. That's what you are. Do you like that? The city of LA is not going to be allowed to be a city that protects the immigrants because we got the fucking rednecks in power. You got it? Have you got it yet? No, you ain't gonna get it, and you will never get it because I don't know why. Let me see. Half of you look really stupid, and the other half looks half asleep. So
Thank you, Mr. Alcala. See you later. Mr. Walsh, are you here? Are you ready, sir? Mr. Alcala, make your way out to council chambers. Thank you.
And just for the record, Mr. Alcala is shouting and disrupting the meeting as he leaves the chambers.
Mr. Walsh, these are the following items you filled out a card for. Items 9, 18, 20, 22, 27, and general public comment. Go ahead.
John Walsh, blogging at HollywoodHighlands.org or J. Walsh Confidential, and tweeting at Hollywood Dems. Come to my website. It makes a lot of sense, and it has what you don't see on the LA Times, in the LA Times. Number 1, this is landside access, property acquisition activities. We don't see any problems there. We're not one of these white guys or say, you're all a bunch of crooks. F word, F word, F word, F word. That's not what we do. We hang you by your own words. Number 9, number 9, this is a reappointment of Barry Miskowski. Incident, we got up here once and said, don't reappoint this person. And if you check, you'll see the person was caught with kiddie porn. Put in city council appointment and kiddie porn, and it'll come out. Number 18, this is initiating vacation. A vacation means a developer comes and says, I need a piece of property for practically nothing to complete my project so I can get rid of some housing. And what happens? The city vacates the property. In other words, it eminent domains the property. Number 20, authorization for year-end reserve fund borrowing. They're borrowing, they're borrowing, they're borrowing. And this is what they're saying. Don't worry, when the Swiss come in here, and I'm Swiss, when the Swiss come in here, they will pay for it all. They come in here for the Olympics, they're going to get stuck with billions of dollars. Or they can just cancel the cancel our Olympics. Number 22. No, the Olympics are going to be in Paris. Requesting city attorney draft ordinance. Okay, this is important. They don't want to talk about this. They don't want to talk about banning ultra compact firearms because they got a lot of right-wing support. This is stuck on here. Everybody should be down here. We allow hidden guns, handguns, tiny guns to kill people. This, and I will give Wesson credit for this, this bans the sale of ultra compact firearms. I challenge any of you to get up here and say you support the ban of You'll vote for it.
Okay, Mr. Walsh, you have your 1 minute for general public comment, sir. Okay. Mr. Herman, your babysitter's not here today. Go ahead.
Okay, we're talking about right now what we must do to win. And we had, and I didn't see any of you up there, but maybe you were there. We had about 200,000 people out on Sunday fighting for Trump. We had them on the street, and it was quite a thing. Incidentally, go down now to the church that used to be there, St. John's Armenian Church. It's been torn down. Look, why do the Armenians tear down their own church? What vomitous Armenian tears down his own church? Go there, see, it's rubble. It's absolute rubble. Scumbag Armenian.
Thank you, Mr. Walsh. We're going to go ahead, Madam Clerk, and vote on some items. Let's go ahead and take up item 1. Mr. City Attorney?
Yes, just for the record, this is a continuation of the item from June 7th on the LAWA's so-called LAMP project. The CEQA findings were made before, and this is the Public Utility Commission hearing for that.
Okay, very well. Let's take up item 1. Let's open the roll. Close the roll and tabulate the vote.
10 ayes.
Okay, item passes. Let's go ahead and take up items 8 through 22. Let's open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the vote. Okay, those.
10 ayes.
Okay, thank you. Those items pass. And I want to note that item 11 has been requested by Mr. Cedillo forthwith, as well as item 21 forthwith for Mr. Price.
And Madam President, just for the record, item 11 will be carried over 1 week to June 20th.
Thank you. And let's continue item 23 till tomorrow.
And that will be continued along with the amending motion that has been posted and distributed.
Okay, thank you. And let's go ahead and vote on items 24 to 28. Let's open the roll. Close the roll.
10 ayes.
Tabulate the votes. Thank you. Okay, we're going to go ahead and vote on items 29 through 31, which were the closed session items. Mr. City Attorney, did you want to speak to any of those? No? City Clerk. Madam Clerk?
And for the record, item 29 in the case entitled Municipal Bond Insurance Litigation versus the City of Los Angeles, there is a recommendation to accept $939,403 in settlement of this matter. On item 30, in the case entitled Fred Hall versus the City of Los Angeles, there is a recommendation to expend $350,000 in settlement of this matter. And finally, in item 31, in the case entitled West Coast Storm, Inc. versus the City, there is a recommendation to expend $800,000 in settlement of this matter.
Without objection, those items are now before us. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
10 ayes.
Okay, those items pass. Okay, I have one general public comment card. Jacqueline Richardson, are you here? Come on up, ma'am. And you filled out a card for general public comment, okay?
You have some mighty good friends that are with you all the time. It's called the Mosaic Commandments. The importance of them is that they protect you. They're better than police officers and better than lawyers. 5, don't kill, don't commit adultery, don't steal, don't lie, and don't be jealous. The first one, don't kill. The beauty of it all is if you don't do it, generally speaking, it won't happen to you. If you don't kill anybody, that protects you so nobody can kill you under those circumstances. If you don't commit adultery, generally speaking, nobody can commit adultery against you under those circumstances. If you don't lie, generally speaking, nobody can lie about you, against you. But a lie is easy to tell if you don't know all the circumstances. And if you don't get jealous of anyone, then nobody can get jealous of you and hold you back.
Thank you, Mrs. Richardson. That concludes our general public card. So, Madam Clerk, let's go ahead and close general public comment. And let's move on to item number 2. There's been a request by Mr. Price to reopen public comment. Is that correct, sir? Did you want to speak on that?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd like to start off by thanking our advocates and planning staff. Thanks to your efforts, we're now one step closer to creating urban agricultural incentive zones in the city of LA, known as AB 551. On paper, 551 simply grants property owners property tax benefits for dedicating their vacant parcels of land for agricultural use for a minimum of 5 years. However, the benefits of creating urban agricultural incentive zones is much more than what you see on paper. Urban ag zones will transform our unsightly, underutilized lots, promote greater sense of community amongst those who participate in agricultural activities on the site, and provide ready access to fresh fruits and vegetables for everyone. As an avid advocate for community gardens, creating green space in an urban environment, and creating mechanisms to provide equitable food access for all communities, AB 551 was a no-brainer. Ag zones will provide yet another very important tool to help improve the quality of life in our neighborhoods. And I suspect it will have far-reaching success in communities like the one I represent, given that there are some 3,000 vacant lots in South LA that could potentially benefit from this program. I'd like to thank the Food Council and the county for their partnership in this endeavor. It's no easy feat to get the county to agree to reduce their incoming revenue, and I want to recognize our partner in the county, Supervisor Mark Ridley Thomas, for also recognizing the benefits of this program and continued success. This program has had overwhelming support throughout the entire city and is just the type of creative out-of-the-box thinking we need to transform our vacant lots into usable program spaces. Members, I ask you to support this wonderful program, and I'm sure it's going to have a positive impact on our communities. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Price. I will go ahead and take cards for this item. I'm going to call your name, please. Line up behind the podium. Each one of you has 1 minute each. The first speaker is Sadio Woods. Are you here? Sadio Woods, are you speaking on item 2? Okay. I'm going to call the next speaker. Please line up right behind her. Cynthia Hubak. Cynthia Hubak, are you here? Christian Carrillo. Brianna Hawkins. Brianna Hawkins. Emily. Irene Pena. And Crystal Gonzalez. Whenever you're ready, go ahead.
Thank you so much, and good morning, council members. You know, I couldn't state my comment any better than Councilmember Price did. This is a great thing for the city of Los Angeles, and particularly for South Los Angeles, which has experienced a prolonged reality of being a food desert and residents not having access to fresh, healthy, and affordable food. And AB 551 will provide that access and empower residents to lead the charge for all of Los Angeles for being an area that can really produce a healthy consciousness amongst the residents in the area. We urge you to go ahead and pass this, and Community Health Councils is definitely in support. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for being here. Next speaker.
Good morning, council members. Thank you so much for having us. My name is Cynthia Hubach. I happen to own a quarter-acre vacant lot in CD 13 near the LA River in Elysian Valley that would qualify under the UAIZ tax reduction. In 2011, I founded the Elysian Valley Community Garden in what amounts to a 6-year field test of the UAIZ. And in that time, we've turned what was a weed-choked, graffiti-prone vacant lot into a thriving community garden that serves 30 families and provides food, recreation, and open space for them. Under the current provision, I pay about $5,000 a year in property taxes. That would be reduced to less than $100, which is pretty amazing. But I know that's a lot, but what you get for that investment is really priceless in terms of food access, clean air, stormwater cleaning, and we also compost. We've taken many tons of food waste out of the
thank you very much.
Waste stream, and it's a great thing. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Good afternoon, council members. My name is Christian Carrillo. I am an indoor hydroponic grower, and my involvement with the LA Food Policy Council is to support the Urban Ag Incentivized Zone Policy Item Number 2. Approval of this policy has the potential benefits of growing in underutilized land, which increases job opportunities, reduction of neighborhood-level blight, and revenue from food sales to travel within the community itself. Urban area food production can operate at a for-profit farm scale, producing high-quality fresh food in space that includes aquaculture, hydroponics, and greenhouses. Along with the opportunity for education, it provides ample possibilities to create new health expectations for the next generation Angelenos, and it also decentralizes the traditional food production model, which will bring better food to more people. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Hello, I'm Brianna Hawkins. I'm Policy Director with the LA Food Policy Council. I just want to thank the Council for taking the leadership on adopting this policy. We really see urban agriculture incentive zones as more than just increasing growing food in the city of LA, although that has a lot of merit in its own right. We see it as a restorative measure to advance equity and justice in the city of LA by repurposing vacant properties in historically disenfranchised and divested communities and repurposing them towards being able to grow food, promote economic enterprise, promote economic development, and support social cohesion in communities. So we're excited about this, and we would really like to continue to work with you to advance agricultural policy in the future. Let's build on this momentum and continue to do great things in the city. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Hi, my name is Emily Gleischer, co-founder of Farm LA and working group member of the LA Food Policy Council. Thank you, council members, Mitch, for pushing AB 551 forward in our city. This act will help motivate Angelenos to do something so beneficial with their underutilized land, like growing food for their neighbors rather than just having it sit there, possibly catching on fire, becoming a place for loitering. Having something like this to motivate landowners to collaborate with urban farmers like myself will benefit the landowners, the urban farmers, and the communities surrounding them. We want to be the city that sets the standard for implementing the Urban Agricultural Incentive Zone Act. Our Northern Cali friends have gotten it started, but we collectively would like to see this act prove its worth. In our experience, the more we farm, the more our neighbors farm and attempt to beautify their space, and that can benefit all of the city, and we thank you so much.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Hello, my name is Irene Peña, and I'm here today representing Proyecto Jardín, a nonprofit organization that was started on a vacant lot, such as the ones that this ordinance will seek to transform. I'm also here, have been active with the LA Food Policy Council Urban Ag Group. I wanted to let you know that vacant lots have so much potential, and any incentive that we can create to motivate landowners to allow this land to benefit the community in that interim time while they're deciding what they're going to do with it is very important. Proyecto Jardín is an example of what can come of these temporary uses. Proyecto Jardín is also an example of the future type of policy and activity that we need to be looking for, and that is a more permanent opportunities to grow food.
Thank you very much. Your time is up. I'm sorry about that. Next speaker.
Hello, my name is Crystal Gonzalez. I'm Program Director for the American Friends Service Committee Roots for Peace program. And I'm here because I'm very excited that a group I work with in historic South Central in District 9, I work with the Food Growers Network who grow food at home and in a tiny community garden that we have now. And we've had our eyes on empty lots in the neighborhood for over 5 years. And this policy has brought us closer to this dream of converting a lot into a farm. We are in conversations with affordable housing developer, Meta Housing, to convert a lot in the neighborhood into a vibrant micro farm, market, and food hub. We're very excited about this project. We thank Councilmember Curran Price and his staff for all the support on this, and the Food Policy Council to make this a reality. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes cards on item number 2. So we're gonna close off the public comment section of this item. Let's go ahead and vote on this matter. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the votes.
10 ayes.
This item passes. Thank you very much for being here.
And Madam President, for the record, the ordinances will be carried over to June 20th.
Okay, thank you. There's been a request to send item 20 forthwith. Okay, what's before us, Madam Clerk?
Madam President, can we
Yes,
also
Mr.
send
Weezer.
item 7 forthwith, please?
Item 7 forthwith from Mr. Weezer. Any other items, members? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, what's before us?
Council has motions for posting and referral.
Okay, posted and referred.
And that clears the desk.
Okay, members, are there any announcements? Seeing none, can we all please rise for adjourning motions? On my left, do we have any adjourning motions, members? Okay, seeing none. Any adjourning motions on my right? Seeing none either, that adjourns our meeting. Have a great day. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
I work for the #1 tug and barge company in the busiest port in the United States. I've been a tugboat captain since around 1998. In the industry since 1992. I joined the Coast Guard right out of high school. My dad thought I needed boot camp, so he talked me into going in the Coast Guard. I had a chief that knew somebody that was in the tug industry, and I just thought it was fascinating. I like the responsibility of the job. You know, once you're underway, it's your ship. You usually work at a really high pace, and I like that because it makes the shift go by really fast. We check in when we first come to work, and we could be doing a tanker, we could be doing an escort from sea, we could be moving a barge, we never know. The larger ships coming into the port nowadays have up to 3 tugs on them. Generally, you have one on the stern of the ship helping steer and helping for brakes, and the other tug or tugs will be up on either shoulder. This tug, the Lila Franco, has 66 tons of bollard pull. We can operate forward and backwards and to a limited scope sideways. And I do a lot of the ship rescues and the special operations. One of the first ship rescues I did here at Harley Marine was a container ship that was disabled about 1,000 miles due west, and we went through at least 3 storms on the way out, and we were into 35, 40-foot seas. And we got out there and we got the ship back into port all in one piece. Harley Marine's a great organization to work for. In the Port of Los Angeles, we have nearly 100 employees. And it's always growing, which is a nice thing. Working in the port allows me to come here and work for my 5 days on, earn a great living, and then go home for 5 days and be able to enjoy the area I grew up with my family. When I'm not at work, I'm usually keeping my 5 kids entertained. We try and get them outside as much as possible. My family goes way back, generations and generations in the industry. I would say I was destined to be working on tugboats.
Many people don't own a house, and that's true for many Latino families. So it's a way of making one feel at home or taking pride, in your city. So it's.
Do you feel as if today that Latinos in Los Angeles are often victimized by negative environmental policies? I think about Sun Valley, for example, Councilman.
Maybe not victimized, but they there are consequences to the decisions that our government takes. So,
Just adding to that, something also that is very important is gentrification. There's
this guy we're keeping him around.
There's multiple locations throughout, Boyle Heights, Silver Lake, Echo Park, North Hollywood, where the people of lower income have less opportunities because they're bringing in, they're rebuilding the areas, and they're therefore creating more opportunities for the people of higher income. So I know something that really has an effect is that that's a problem that we face in the revitalization of the river, that it might attract people to maybe build a home there, but like I was saying earlier, it should be inclusive to all community members.
Well, council member, can you tell us what your views on that are?
Well, one is that each area will go through a change, but it's important to have you involved and yourself involved, your friends, your aunts and uncles, in the civic process. Our apathy is fairly high when you look at how many people vote. Now we're talking about effects in their neighborhoods and having access to housing. So getting you involved, starting at this point, and sharing your information and attending these meetings is so crucial as we go through the community plan and change these pockets for the opportunities that you feel are important.
I'm so glad that you joined us, and if I may say, incredibly impressed at your depth of knowledge on such an important yet little understood issue. And I know the council member is humbled as well by your involvement. So we thank you so much for joining us, and please stay involved. This is your river and your children's river and your grandchildren's river, so we're so glad that you're here. So we're going to take a quick recess, if I may use that term, and when we come back, we'll resume our discussion. But first, let's hear an important message, and we'll be right back with some of your fellow students.
The Los Angeles Department of Water and Power wants to help you become more water-wise. Want to save money? Just look outside. As much as 50% of a home's water use occurs outdoors. Apply the amount of water your plants need. Adjust your sprinkler schedule seasonally. For more tips, log on to bewaterwise.com or call 1-800-GREEN-LA. We can all make water conservation a way of life. The LADWP. We're working for LA.
Washing a car may not look dangerous. In fact, a lot of things we do in our neighborhoods may not appear hazardous, but they are when they go down the storm drains. Storm drains go straight to the ocean. Make the connection.
Welcome back to the River Report with Ed Reyes. We're joined now by two more students who are also taking an active role in their environment. We have Wong Patamarit, she's of Valley College, and Danny Fuentes, also of Valley College. And we're so glad to have you both. Thank you for joining us. Councilman.
Welcome to the show. Appreciate your participation. I understand you live near the Riverway. Can you talk to us about your expectations with the River Report and how it can impact your future?
My expectation, it's more of like
community involvement, because it's really important to see everybody get involved. I mean, like government agency, local, state agency, and the city itself working together to make a better community for us.
But how did you get involved in this? There are a lot of environmental movements going around in Los Angeles. How did the river become the point that got you interested?
I'm glad you asked me that, because I'm so excited to talk about the youth conference back in 2006, and it was in September, and that's how I met all of my friends, and we started a chapter at LAVC to kind of inform the community of what's going on around our neighborhood, the water quality, the park, what's going on with our community. So then that way we can take a better initiative into making it better.
And Danny, you grew up in Outwater Village, literally right on the LA River.
Right on the river.
So give us your perspective.
The river was more like a getaway to us because, there's the neighborhood, there's the streets and everything. And then once you go to the river, everything's green. All of a sudden you go from gray to green. So it was really the kind of place you go to on a Sunday afternoon when you have nothing else to do. You want to just go and just lay back and just hear the birds.
And what are your expectations of this plan? How do you see it changing, and how do you see it benefiting our young people in the city?
The expectations are more greenery. As far as right now, so much concrete channel, more greenery, more plants growing, you know what I mean? More trails, more bike paths, more benches, more barbecue pits, baseball fields, even if you want to go the whole 9 yards and just start creating a whole rec center along the river. I mean, we have them at parks. Why not have them near the river? And as far as what I would like to see in the river and everything, I guess just a lot more people coming out to the river, because now it's fenced off. You mean, there's an entrance here, there's an entrance there, but it's fenced off in between. That's how Atwater was. So I would like to see more entrances, more access to the river, and then have like parks and like greenways that connect it from like one park to another park, one part of the river to another part of the river, just like a continuum of just green spaces to go walk around.
What do your fellow students say when you tell them, I'm involved in the revitalization of the Los Angeles River? Do they have any sense of what's happening?
We talk to a lot of high school students, and they're excited. It's just that they don't know how to, take their classroom experience and take it into, the outdoor. They need role models to be out there to lead them, so then that way they can carry on the torch.
That's why we started the whole NHEC chapter. It's more like a mobilization of volunteers.
NHEC is?
The National Hispanic Environmental Council. And it's really a mobilization of volunteers. There's so many people at our college, at high schools, that they say, I want to do something. I like the river. I like to do something. I don't know how. Well, the HEC is there for you to come to us and be like, okay, well, we're having this event at this day, like the youth conference. Would you like to come out? So that's really what it's about. Just the HEC is about bringing the community out to the river and getting the community involved.
And how do you react to the notion that people say, well, they're going to improve the river, but then again, that means like my friends and my family who are working folks won't be able to afford to live here anymore. How do you feel about those kinds of suggestions?
I feel that it's really not fair. Considering the example of Elysian Valley in 2004, the Elysian Valley Neighborhood Council was fighting against gentrification. What happened was that they organized the community to come out and volunteer to clean up the river. They pulled out the weeds, took out the old tires, they repaved everything, put nice green grass and walkways with stones and benches, and all of a sudden, the property value went up. So the taxes went up for an apartment, meaning that all of a sudden the rent went up. You know what I mean? It just had that whole ripple effect. So all of a sudden, that person that went out to clean up the river last year, this year couldn't afford his rent. So he had to move out somewhere else. So it seems like they sowed their own seeds of destruction in the end.
Well, what should city government do to make sure